So I'm going to go ahead and remove these from the pot. Take my time. I might want to go ahead and put this in another pot or another bowl. So let me get that. This is the other bowl that I had water in it. It's actually cracked, so water cannot be in this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and just work with this a little bit. I mean, I'm going to put it in that water, but I just want to kind of work with it. Get some of that dirt out of it. Smell the dirt. The roots are pretty good. You can see the roots. So you don't want to tear the roots. So what I've been doing is just gently, I just been kind of running my fingers through it. And what falls off, falls off. What doesn't fall off, doesn't fall off. Because I don't want to put it all this dirt or the soil, the Nepenthes soil in that water. So I'm just going to kind of do this. And you can see it's got a lot of roots. So this was ready to be repotted. I don't know if this can come off there or not. Separate these two. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll soak it a little longer and we'll see what happens. The soil was dry, so it definitely needed to be repotted. Let me go get some snips. I'm going to snip those nasties off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and snip these off. I just went ahead and got my shears. I want to go ahead and get as much of that off as I can. I am unhappy about the condition of my plant, but we'll clean it up and just hope it survives. That's all we can do, right? There we go. And I don't know if we can separate these or not. So I'm trying to... Let's see. I think I'm getting most of it. And it looks like they're together. Yeah, they look like they're together. So I'm just going to go ahead and just leave them together and see what happens. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry, plant. There we go. Alright, do you see the roots? That's pretty good roots. So I'm going to go ahead and soak this one. This is not going very easy. People make it look easy, but it really isn't. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get the soil in this pot, and I'm fixing to make a mess. Okay, we're going to do the next one. Get it out of the pot. Kind of push the sides a little bit so it can break free. And this one needed to be repotted. You can tell it's gripped on there pretty good. I'm just being gentle. So you have to be very, very gentle. not good to break it, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to work on getting this nastiness off of it. This old stuff. I think the soil costed me in the upwards of $50. And this red moss was expensive, people. I thought I got more. My husband ordered it. And I didn't. And so I wasn't very happy about that. Okay, so I'm going to let this soak in some water for a few minutes. I might as well get that piece right here off. And that way it's... I don't know if you know this, but a plant will continually try to revive that leaf if, you know, if it's still on it, and the energy won't go to growing, the energy will go to trying to bring it back. That's a lot of root system. So we're going to put this in the water, and try not to put all this in the water. Just kind of do this. We're just going to let it soak in there for a few minutes. While I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get the other plant. Okay, so here's the baby. It is the baby. And I'm going to go ahead and this one's called a, I don't know. Do you see the words? I don't know if you can see it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. You can definitely see the moss. See all that green, pretty green moss? I do want to try to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get it off there. And then put that back in the container. Save them as much as I can off of it. There we go. And there's the root system. It's just a baby. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the water. And get some of this plastic out of here. That's what happens when you buy things online. Not all the time, but every once in a while, that's right, you run into stuff like this. But I think I got it. I've been working on it now for a few days. I mean, this is about the best I'm going to get it. Probably should sand it, maybe. I don't know. Oh. I'm not happy about it. But it does look better. It was 10 times worse. You can see all the plastic in there. So just be careful when you buy stuff like this. Plants do not like nastiness like that. So you got to make sure that their homes are, the environment is friendly to them. I'm going to go ahead and get this in here. There we go. And probably one more handful. And then I can put that in here. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and what's in here is in here, and we'll go from there. So I'm making a hole in here, putting it in. Come on, guys. Ladies. I think it'll like this a lot better. You don't want to push the soil down too much. This has got a mixture of stuff. So I'm just putting it down enough to keep it steady. we go. I think one more. Just one more. Let's get it in here. Just get it around the plant a little more. Because it's really hard to see if you get it all around the roots. There we go. I think that'll do it. Here, let me put this one right here. I'll put it over to the side. Okay. That one is done. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the sink because I do have to water these really well. Okay, now we're going to work with the baby. And again, I've never done this before. This is my first time. So I'm just hoping that I do everything correctly from what I've read and from everything that I've seen. This is kind of like how you do it. I do like this one better because you do put this one kind of in the water for a little bit. And again, distilled water, distilled water, distilled water. I know I keep repeating myself. Let me put that down. The root's pretty long. I'll put it down in here. There we go. Just give the roots a chance to grip in there. There we go. A lot better. It actually looks happier already being in another pot. And this is a pretty one too. It's got like a green and a red color. So we're going to put just a little more in here just to help it out some. And boy, am I making a mess. Oh well. Nothing sweeping it on the floor and letting your vacuum handle it won't cure. Because this stuff dries really fast. So, let me get this on this side. I'm not pushing it down hard. I'm just pushing it down just a smidge, just to kind of give the plant a little bit of stability. But I am leaving it air because that's what it needs. There we go. The sides I'm not so worried about. It's the center near the roots. You don't want to really push on that. And you want to make sure all the leaves are above that moss, soil, coconut mix. And there's something right here. So I'm going to get that out of there. I don't want it in there. Come on. Spit it up. Spit it out. Come on. There we go. Better. Okay. And then we put a little more in it. Just a smidge. I don't want to go too crazy. Just put a little more in it. Give it some cushion. And remember, I have that red moss to put in these. So I need to do that real quick. I'm going to wet this down. I need to wet that down too. Might as well do it all at once. Okay. Whew. Make sure everything's out of the soil that should be out of the soil. There we go. There we go. Boy, my husband bought it in bulk, and you can see I don't have a whole lot left. Just a little bit. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and do some of this moss. This is live moss. So, it's red moss. Quite expensive if you ask me, but it has to stay moist, and that's how it came in the package. So what I'm going to do is put this in here, and it will grow. on its own. It's absolutely gorgeous stuff. I think my husband only bought 4, and they were quite expensive. Quite expensive. The only thing I didn't like about it is how expensive the soil makes, and the moss really is. There we go. Oh, we'll just put them in here. Okay, so that's one done. Let's put some moss in this one. All right, it's time to do this one. Go ahead and pull this off. These are stapled together. There we go. Make sure the staples don't go in your plant. So you got to make sure all that stuff's off. You can see right here. That's how they're packaged. They're moist. Beautiful packaging. I have no complaints. The cost I have a complaint about, but I complain about the cost on everything. So it could be $10 and I would be like, $10. But if you want a plant like this, be prepared to spend some money. They literally require you to get special soil, have special type of water, to have special, and then if you want moss on it, which I think is important to put on your plant, that helps retain the moisture. I mean, I'm sure that some don't do it, but look how beautiful that is. You definitely need to give a shout out to these people. Great guy I spoke to on the phone. He answered a lot of my questions. Was really, engaging. He didn't act like, I was wasting his time or bothering him. And he just really took care of me. My husband went ahead and bought all the stuff. But when I called him up and asked him questions about what was going on with my plant, and, he gave me some answers, and it was exactly what we thought it was. That they just needed to be repotted. 2, they were too dry, and it was because they needed to be repotted. And so you can see that in there. And what I'll do is I'll water everything. So definitely give a shout out to the Carnivorous Plant Nursery. They are a great bunch. They know their business, and I would recommend. I mean, if you want to get anything from them, I would go there. This is really moist, and that's what these guys need. But look how beautiful that is. So I'm going to go ahead and put some around this one. And just to give it some moisture. And then the other ones, I'll finish putting it in the other ones. My husband got the red because he thought the red would be beautiful, and he got it for me. So he always buys me the best of everything. I couldn't ask for a better husband. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these in, all this in here. You don't want to waste it. This stuff is live. And you don't want to say, oh, I don't want no more. Because these things need to be cared for just as well as the plant, because the moss is live. And so now I'm just putting the cushion in there, and we'll go from there. And somehow this one ended up on the side again. So we'll kind of work with it, and I think it's good. Isn't that pretty? It'll be even prettier when they're wet. And we'll put some more in this one. See, I was trying to go through this stuff gingerly, and then, you know, you can go through and put more in as time goes when you're doing this. But you want to make sure that you have enough for everything. So that's why I did what I did. And I'll put some in here. I'll put some more in here. I'm going to spread it apart just a little bit. Beautiful stuff. Well packaged. I'll leave a link to their place. Like I said, the guy was very knowledgeable, willing to take his time with me, and to me that's a win-win all the way around. And there you go. Now I have everything in here that it needs. Now for the the easy part is just really watering these guys really good. There's a stand downstairs in my basement that my husband wants to use. So what I'm going to do is he told me to wait until he got home. And that's what I plan on doing. I plan on waiting until he gets home, because he's going to carry the stand up and help me set everything back up. And this is what it looks like with the moss in. I'm really hoping this one comes back. They're pretty hardy, but they do have demands, like they have demands that you use distilled water. I use it from Culligan, and they have done me right. They have made sure that I get the distilled water. I usually get 2 containers, 5-gallon containers of distilled water each time, and then it takes about 2 months. So basically I go through 1 5-gallon every month, and then on the second month or third month they bring in 2 more, and it's always been distilled. If they give me the wrong stuff, I'm going to be very unhappy, but I have not had that happen, and I've had these guys for a year. The distilled water is not expensive, and again, they bring the distilled water and drop it off. They actually drop it off in the back for me, because I can't lift it up and I can't put it in the house, so I have to wait for my husband. So, shout out to them. They have really, you know, Culligan has really looked out for me, so definitely give them a thumbs up. You know, say hi to Culligan. So hopefully Culligan is actually seeing my videos, because I've always promoted their company when it comes to these plants, because that's all that you use the water for. And we'll see. All right, I'm going to water these guys really good. And then when my husband gets home, he's going to get the stand from the basement and bring it up and then help me set everything up. In no way, shape, or form am I a professional when it comes to these plants. I am a beginner learning, and I have done my research before I did this. Everything had to be exact. I'm sure that other people do things differently. I'm doing it my way, and hopefully my way works, because I don't want to lose these guys. But this is me as a beginner trying to learn how to take care of my Nepenthes. And again, these guys are a year old, and I must be doing something right. 2 times a week watering was not enough, because they were dry, and I just watered them like 2 days ago, and they should have been still pretty moist. So I'm glad I did this. It did cost quite a bit. It costed us about close to $200 to get all the stuff and to repot them. Now, I probably could have found pots outside in my shed, but I needed something that could drain really well, So I got these. They're actually good looking pots. The only problem I had with them was the plastic all over. And it wasn't like plastic shavings just laying in there. They were plastic shavings that were still hooked to the pot itself. So I had to scrape all that out. I do have another one of these pots for the baby over here, for this one. Right there. When it gets bigger. And these guys will be in this pot and that pot for a while, probably another year, maybe 2, I hope. And so I can recover from the $200 that I spent. But I absolutely love the moss. I absolutely love the soil. The soil is great. Let me show you what it looks like. I think they have the ingredients on it. And then here it is. You may have to make it larger. But it has... You can see where it says mineral-free water, right there. And then it has Sanctum peat moss, milled and chopped, horticulture sand, perlite, fir bark. Well, it says wear gloves, but yeah, I didn't do that. And then it says ideal for medium, specifically formulated for Nepenthes and other carnivorous plants that prefer well-drained soil. And you can see the name of them, Carnivorous Plant Nursery. Give them a shout out. Tell them thank you for looking after me and talking to me like they did. And then right here is their website. Again, give them a shout out. Tell them thank you for being kind and, patient with me. And that's it. I think the soil is good. I'm going to keep this soil. I don't know how good it will be in a year or so. But I'm hoping that my husband will give me another Nepenthes. But we won't discuss that with him because as soon as I mention it, he'll go straight out and buy something for me. And he wants to give me the Raja one. And that's supposed to be the hardest one to grow. Because the temperature has to be in the 50s at night. And I think it's 70s during the day. So it has to be a real controlled environment. And I don't have that ability right now. I don't know if my house can handle being in the 50s at night. I don't think my husband can handle it. And this is the old soil. You can see it's just... looks like it's more perlite than it is anything. Pretty bad. I wish I'd have known that. I should have repotted it when I first got plants. But you can see they're just... Can you hear it? Just... No wonder they were having problems. Poor babies. Yeah, I'm just gonna dump this. There ain't no reason to keep in this. This is... looks like it's more perlite than anything. Because if you look at this one... I mean, look at that. It's totally different soil. So, there's definitely a difference if you take that soil and this soil and kind of put them together, and you can see the difference. See that? They look a lot better. And it does have a little perlite in it, but not a lot. You can see it's mainly moss and other stuff. Let me get another handful, and you can see totally different soil. And then you take this one, and you can see the difference. So, okay. And now I'm watering the plants. Whenever you repot a plant, you always want to make sure that you give it a good drink, so that way the soil gets, or the mixture of whatever you use gets moistened. These plants definitely need that. They need the humidity. They like to be moist. They just don't like their toes in water. They don't like to sit in water. But they do like their substrate to be really moist. And so what I'm doing is I using the Culligan jug. It is the distilled water, and it's not a full jug. I think I only had just a little bit left. So I'm pouring the rest of it on these plants, making sure that they do get a good drink, soaking them down, cleaning off the leaves, and doing whatever it takes for them. I am also doing the one with the moss. I couldn't bring myself to getting rid of the moss, that green moss, so it is in its own little container, and I'll continue to baby it and take care of it until I can use it for something else. And maybe I'll get another plant that needs to have all that moisture, and then that moss can go on there. The Nepenthes doesn't require a lot of work. They need humidity, they need a well-drained pot, and the substrate needs to be well-drained as well. But they're pretty simple to take care of. And please remember that I am no way a professional. This is my first time repotting these, and I figured I would do a video on what I have learned on how to repot the Nepenthes. Thank you for taking time in your day to spend it with me. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Bye, friends.